Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I want to have another chat about content we're likely going to see in Division 2's upcoming update and what changes I think should be implemented in order to make it better than we've seen in the past, that content being seasons. Now, I actually don't think that these are that bad. Honestly, I like a lot about the seasons, but there's also parts to them that I think could definitely use some work, so that's what I want to discuss. Quickly before we begin, I have a big announcement, that being the second installment of the Division 1 Xbox Last Stand event is happening this Friday. This is a quick turnaround, but I posted a poll on the community tab the other day, and at the time of me recording this, over 25 people, according to the percentage that voted yes for attendance, are scheduled to show up. The first event I did alongside Kamikaze Von Doom, Bishop Bose, Kong Style, and a few others, and while I haven't heard from them yet, I certainly hope they will be joining in, but if not, we're still going to have plenty of fun. So once again, this Friday, October 1st, I'll be going live around 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, and shortly after, we will queue into the Last Stand queue on Xbox, and so if you're on Xbox, certainly come and join in, or if not, you can tune into the stream. We nearly had full 4 lobbies last time, which is over 60 people who showed up, so that was really awesome, and I hope to do it again. So this Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, be there. You can find more details and still go vote on my community tab, and stay tuned here and on Twitter for further updates. Link to that in the description if you need it. Alright, with that down, let's now jump into the season's discussion. There are 2 big points I want to emphasize for what I think could receive improvement, but before that, I just want to quickly cover what I think seasons do well, because I know a lot of people dislike their structure and whatnot, so I figured I might as well explain my viewpoint of why I don't think they're all that bad. Alright, let's get this out of the way first. If it were possible, would I like each season to introduce more content to the game? Absolutely. Yeah, I would never not want more content, but if the season model that we are familiar with is the extent of what the dev team is able to produce on that consistent 3-month rotation, then I'm okay with that, and I think it works well enough. Maybe it is their capacity of what they're capable of, or maybe it isn't. I think it's pretty impossible for any of us to truly know or gauge, but in the current model, or the one that we're used to, I should say, what do I like? For one, I enjoy and appreciate the amount of new gear and weapons we receive each season. On average, the amount we've come to expect is 2 new high-end weapons, 1 new gear brand, and anywhere from 2 to 4 named pieces within those new items, as well as 1 new gear set and 2 new exotics. That's not too shabby of a bundle of new stuff to receive every 3 months, I feel like. So that I appreciate and enjoy, and though I wish they wouldn't add the new gear and weapons to the targeted loot rotation as soon as the season drops, so that you actually earned it more naturally through the season track, but anyway, that's one thing that I do like about the current season model. And then the other thing I do really enjoy about the seasons is how there's continually new events going on throughout the duration. The targets themselves being spaced out 3 weeks apart can be a drag, no doubt, but it definitely helps soften that blow by there being a new league, global event, apparel event, whatever it be, starting up every week and sometimes overlapping. It makes you feel like there's always something going on, something, to go for, and that's because there is. That doesn't mean that the events themselves are perfect, because they're not, and we'll get to that. But overall, those are the 2 things I do really enjoy and appreciate about the season model. Specifically, the ones that stand out. There are other good things, and other not so good things, but those are the 2 standouts in my mind. Again, those just being the amount of new gear and weapons we receive every 3 months for each new season, and the continual rotation of new events keeping things fresh throughout the season's duration. So those are 2 of the big positives from my point of view. Now let's turn focus to where I think improvements could be made, starting with leagues. This is what I was referring to when I said that not all the events are perfect, whereas the global events I feel like have actually reached a pretty good spot, in my opinion, where the event modifiers themselves are now pretty fun and more player friendly, and the reward structure has both the 10-tier track as well as the star vendor. I don't even know what they call them, the seasons vendor with the star currency to purchase more of whatever you want, right? I really think the leagues could use some sort of a similar facelift, both in their content and in the rewards. Starting with the content side of it, they just need to be more difficult and more of a challenge, right? I think a lot of us can probably agree with this, and if you didn't know, they did actually used to be more difficult. Back when the leagues were introduced in Season 1, they had 2, I believe, heroic missions per league, and I remember they did DARPA research once as one of them, which obviously on time trial heroic was pretty difficult, and people really enjoyed those. And it really did surprise me when they decided to knock all the leagues down to just hard and challenging, and I think it's honestly a pretty easy solution. Why not include all? There are 4 missions per league? Make 1 hard, 2 challenging, 1 heroic. Bam. Would that be so bad? That way every type and skill level of player has something to do when the league events roll around. Now, I'm not saying one time trial heroic mission is necessarily sufficient for the endgame crowd, but it's better than what we've got now. And I at least feel like it would be a fair compromise. Alright, now let's shift over to the other big improvement that I would like to see within the season model, which is somewhat tied into the leagues themselves, and that's the nature of the rewards we receive within seasons. In year 2, I think the rewards were fine. There were a lot of new exotics and named items to collect after Warlords came out, and so there were a lot of those sprinkled throughout the main track and the subsequent event rewards. But by the time this update drops, the new one for Division 2 and the, supposed new season begins, we're headed towards the end of year 3. And the majority of people who are going to be interacting with the seasonal stuff and the only people who really care about what types of rewards they're getting are the more hardcore, right? Not even necessarily hardcore, but just the ones who have been playing for a long time, even if you don't play, every day of every week. And being over a year and a half out after Warlords has released, a lot of us are going to have all of the exotics, right? Or at least the ones we care about getting. Maybe not the raid ones or maybe not whatever, but the majority of them. And so what I'm leading to here is that I would like to see at least a general shift, not a removal of exotic and named rewards, but a shift in the frequency we get of those to have there be more optimization material bundle rewards, because that is actually something that I think a lot of us endgame and long-term players could still use and find value in acquiring. I know I certainly still have a large amount of my builds to optimize, and that's just because it's so expensive. And whereas the global events are now a fantastic source for getting those in the, Seasons vendor offering an optimization cache for 12 stars, stuff like the leagues and just the overall reward track in general could use a bit of a redistribution in order to help offer more relevant rewards towards the majority of people who are participating. That being a greater emphasis on optimization materials, like I said. Alright, well, absolutely let me know what you think about my suggestions here. I feel like this would be a good improvement and direction for them to take with the seasons unless Massive has some sort of greater revamp plan for them, but I'm of course very curious if you all agree that the leagues and overall reward type are the biggest areas in need of correction. Clearly, I'm guessing there's going to be some debate here, hence why I'm saying all this before the outro. I think seasons in general are very controversial, so I'm very curious what you all will have to say. But thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on so you can be updated every time I upload. I already told you all to leave your thoughts down below, so instead, let me remind you to check out the community tab post and poll I put up regarding the next upcoming Xbox Last Stand event, which is going to be this Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there or in the stream if you are not on Xbox, the stream I'll be doing. Check the community tab as well as my Twitter for further information and details. Alright everyone, well that is going to do it for me. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one guys, RogueGold. Out.